You know that feeling when you open your old project and think, who wrote this garbage? Then you realize it was you 6 months ago, and you even commented, temporary fix, will clean later. Well, congratulations, my friend. You've officially joined the club of people haunted by their technical debt. The financial loan you didn't sign for, but somehow owe with your sanity. Because, let's be honest, technical debt isn't like real debt. Real debt comes from student loans or that one time you thought crypto was at the bottom. Technical debt, on the other hand, comes from laziness disguised as productivity. But don't worry, today we'll fix it. Or, more realistically, we'll talk about fixing it and then go back to ignoring it, just like real developers do. Alright, so what the hell is technical debt? Imagine you're building a feature and you're like, let's just hardcode this API key. I'll refactor it later. Boom! You've just taken a loan from future you. And guess what? Future you is now bankrupt. Technical debt happens when you choose a quick, messy solution today that makes your codebase more painful to deal with tomorrow. It's like eating fast food. Tastes great now, but your system and arteries will pay for it later. There are actually a few types of technical debt, because apparently even chaos has categories. 1. Deliberate debt. You know you're writing bad code, but you're like, deadline's tomorrow. Let's YOLO this function and pray it doesn't explode. 2. Accidental debt. You thought your code was great until your team lead said, we don't use var anymore, Kevin. 3. Bitrote debt. When your project slowly decays over time, like that avocado you swore you'd use for breakfast, frameworks update, dependencies break, and your once beautiful code turns into a prehistoric artifact. 4. I'll fix it later debt. Spoiler, you won't. You're gonna leave it there like a dead body in the backyard of your repo, hoping no one digs it up. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what's the big deal? The code works, right? Sure. So does a car with duct tape on the bumper, until it doesn't. Technical debt makes it harder to add new features, slows development, increases bugs, and can eventually make your team hate both the project and each other. Because nothing says team bonding like debugging legacy code written by an intern who left 3 years ago. And when it piles up enough, the only fix left is a complete rewrite, aka the we should have never started this phase. Now let's pretend for a second that we're responsible adults. Here's how you can deal with technical debt. Acknowledge it. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. Denial isn't a strategy, it's just procrastination with better marketing. Document it. Create a list or tracker of known issues, bad patterns, or temporary fixes. It's like a debt statement for your repo, except instead of numbers, it's just sadness. Refactor regularly. Set aside small chunks of time to clean up old code. Think of it as brushing your teeth. Annoying, but it prevents rot. Review your PRs carefully. Code reviews aren't just for catching typos. They're for stopping that one developer who thinks a 500-line function is elegant. Automate tests. Because nothing builds confidence like running a test suite and watching all 300 tests fail in new and interesting ways. Now some of you might be thinking, this is cool and all, but my code doesn't have technical debt. Yeah, okay, and my grandma runs Kubernetes in her free time. Everyone has tech debt. It's not about avoiding it. It's about managing it before your codebase becomes a museum exhibit titled, Why We Can't Deploy Anymore. So, next time you leave a to-do comment that says, fix this later, just remember, you're not writing code. You're writing IOUs to your future self. And when future you opens that file and screams into the void, just know, present you didn't care. Alright, go refactor something. Or don't. After all, ignoring technical debt builds character and unemployment. Now excuse me while I refactor my life, one bad decision at a time.